Okay, Lecrae, can we make a serious shift here just for a second? I know that you've been making some headlines and you're probably tired of answering these questions and stuff like that. But there's some people asking about the state of your music and kind of where you're going with ministry. Do you still love the Lord? Do you still love the church? And we want to give you an opportunity to address some of those concerns because they have popped up even on our show. So what do you say to those who have questions about that right now?
I think, if you weren't being effective and productive in your walk and trying to really, storm the gates of hell, then there would be no opposition. There would be no conflict or confusion. And, Jesus is the epitome of a man and God in the flesh who, caused so much controversy, especially amongst the religious community. And so it wasn't his intention to, for people to be confused or to think he was the devil or any of those things. He just, came to seek and save the lost. And that's really my intention and my ambition. And, another thing about it is I'm not going to do it all right. And I think we as believers have got to become a lot more gracious toward one another when we see people doing things and they're not going to get it all right. But it's loving them toward, understanding how it may possibly be done and just trying to, walk and encourage people. But, there's never been any shift in terms of like, oh, I'm falling off or I don't love Jesus anymore or I want to be accepted or embraced and any of those things. I really just want to see people reach. And, sometimes, the methods aren't always the most popular, but at the same time, you just want to see people come to Jesus. So that's really been my motivation and my mission.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah. Let me ask you this. We had Show Baraka on, and we were talking to him about the Talented 10th, and I was kind of giving him a hard time like I like to do for all the artists. And I said, why are you so angry? Are you mad at the church? Like, what did the church ever do to you? And so I want to ask you that question. Have you felt like kind of even as, because if you look at it, your start and what you're doing, I mean, if it was not going to be embraced, it would have not been embraced earlier. And I'm sure you had some pushback then. But I don't think that people have an issue with you because of your music. Man, that's what we love about you. We love that you're taking, a raw look at the streets. I think the question comes in like the collaborations and stuff like that. Do you feel like you had to kind of make a shift away from being largely identified with the church to be able to collaborate? And have you found those collaborations, without giving too much away, to be effective for those you collaborate with?
Yeah, the thing about it is there's never a formula for somebody coming to Christ other than the gospel. So all you can do is love people, spend time with them, and get to know them. Like you can never say, well, all you got to do is do a song with them or take them to dinner or let them spend a night and they going to come to Jesus. That's never, it's always the gospel. So anything I'm doing is never a surefire formula for anybody to come to Jesus, but it has been a surefire formula for me to build lasting relationships and continue, pushing against their thought process and challenging them and loving on them and encouraging them in the gospel. And, man, I've had great opportunities to, not only share my faith, but give advice to a lot of the people that I've been associated with outside of the church community. And so hopefully, if anything, I want to show people not that we are holding hands and walking down the street sinning together, but that I can say, hey, that I can say, hey, come over here and let's talk about real life issues. Let's have a conversation over a beat, and let's have a conversation. I don't want you to preach because you don't know Jesus.
Okay, all right, that's good. I'm glad, man. See, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like people need to hear come directly from you because there's so much speculation and even I'll say this because I was listening to an interview that people that you like were able to get with you, and I thought, oh man, this was really good, because you said what you said a few minutes ago. I'm not gonna get it right all the time, know, and one of the things Wil, my husband, my co-host here, has been saying for a long time. We need to pray for you. We need to pray that you will succeed in the mission that God's given you, not kind of standing by waiting for you to fall.
This is big. I mean, I don't know many that have been successful in doing this. And so I think we really do need to pray. And the last thing I want to ask on the collaboration thing, because that's a big deal with a lot of people. Are there artists that you have a standard that you say, I will not collaborate with this person? Because are there artists out there like that? Okay.
Absolutely. And the reason reason why is because I think sometimes what the artist represents is way bigger than the collaboration itself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if an artist is just known for being, their MO is just crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna draw more attention to the controversy behind it. Then it's probably not worth my time because my intention is not to get people to talk. My intention is to really build relationships and for other people to listen to their perspective, in music and hear my perspective right alongside of it. So that's really the heart and the attention. And then another thing about it is, it's more than it's a career for a lot of people. And so, it's like coming to work. And if you're at your job and you say, hey Jimmy, I'd love to talk to you about Jesus, but I don't want to go to lunch with you, and I don't want to work next to you, and I don't want to, work on a project with you. I just want an isolated conversation about Jesus. Well, Jimmy's going to look at you like, man, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times when you approach these artists and you say, hey, man, love to get to know you, well, in their brain, they're like, look, man, what do you want to get to know me for?
Yeah.
Are we working or what are we doing?
Right.
Let me do this. We got 1 minute left, and in this last minute, I've got one last provocative question for you, Lecrae. It's provocative, okay? And so you can plead the fifth or whatever, but I like just a little bit of provocation. So recently, in talking with another Christian rap artist, this is a statement that was made, and I just want to get your take on it real quick. There's a question about, okay, he's a rapper who's a Christian, he's a Christian rapper, all of this, right? And I'm sure you've heard it ad nauseum. So the statement was made, well, if you're no longer a Christian rapper, maybe you should give up that space to other Christian rappers and go full on and do what you're doing. What do you say to that?
I think that's it. You whoever said it simplified it way too much. You just made it way too simple. And I think when you want everything to fit nice and neat in a box and simple like that, then, it's a disservice to us as humans. It's a disservice to the faith altogether because it's way more complicated than that. And it's not about this is my space, this is your space. There's music that's for the church. There's music that's from the church. Christians need to have a voice on everything. We need to speak out on abortion. We need to speak out on marriage, relationships, the sky, the moon. And so, we need to be everywhere. It's almost like saying, hey, man, we don't want Christians who know about biology. Either be a Christian or do biology. But you're taking up my Christian biology space.
Okay.
Like, no, we need to be all in all the mix, in the church, outside the church. And, so that's really,
I appreciate
think they're thinking
that.
a little too small.